What's going on, FA Nation? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS podcast and live stream recording here for Tuesday's 5-game main slate. James, yesterday wasn't too bad. A lot of the chalk hit. Some of the top tier guys missed. We had some blowouts. We had to deal with that Toronto Raptors lineup there with a bunch of interesting starters moving around their lineup, but some of them came through. All in all, not an awful day.
Yeah, interesting starters, and Nick Nurse has gone from a guy playing his starters 40 minutes to playing 11 players. So, thanks, Nick Nurse. I appreciate the change in your philosophy randomly, but definitely interesting yesterday. Definitely interesting today. A lot of injury news. Potential Zion questionable. We got the news Desmond Bane's going to miss 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
The return of Jaren Jackson Jr. is today, John. The potential, we have another game without Yusuf Nurkic. A whole bunch of other players in Brooklyn questionable. Should have seen the writing on the wall with the Spurs, and they played a bunch of guys yesterday, but Trey Jones is going to be questionable, and they're on a back-to-back. There's a lot of news still to come, and a very interesting slate in terms of Vegas. The Clippers-Mavericks game is clearly the worst on the board, 212 over-under, Mavs getting 7, or Mavs giving 7 at home. But every other game is like a dream. Memphis, New Orleans giving 3.5, 228.5 total, 231 in Knicks Jazz. Jazz 5-point favorites. Brooklyn, Sacramento, 227. Sacramento, 1.5-point favorites there.
Yeah.
And then Portland, San Antonio in the other hammer. We have 2 hammers tonight. 226 total, 8-point spread. Every game is pretty tight spread. Yes, there's an 8-point spread in there, but if Trey Jones is active, I think the Spurs can stay competitive there.
Yeah. Feel better about them on the second leg of a back-to-back than the first leg of the back-to-back, considering they got blown out last night and most of their starters didn't really play. So,
and they didn't play in the first half. When there was when it wasn't 30 and 40, which it ended up being
we got popped. That's what happened last night.
We got popped. We did. We did get popped. And just a reminder, everybody, please subscribe to this video, to the podcast, wherever you wherever you listen to us or watch us. Subscribe, thumbs up, comment, whatever you can.
Follow us on Twitter.
Follow us on Twitter. Give us a kind review on iTunes or wherever you listen, Spotify. So all that would be much appreciated. And my dog will, give you a good bark. Maybe he'll wake up.
Here's the I think other key part of this slate here, James. Highest price player, $10,100. So there's going to be some roster building today where a lot of mid-tier guys are going to be in play. You don't have I lied. You have $12,800 is Luka.
I was I'm looking at it
I had the point guard section open and then I just ignored Luka because he was way too expensive. But I didn't have the full button clicked there.
Okay.
So Durant's 11-2.
I was panicking.
Durant is 11-2. George is 10-4. And then Ja Morant's at 10-1.
Okay.
So reset that. Rewrap that one. $12,800 for Luka. Coming off of 83 fantasy points against Portland. I've talked to you guys all the time about this. I hate paying this much money because it takes a enormous, made up that word, effort for them to come through and hit value, right? Giannis last night at 12-4 completely dudded out. You couldn't win with Giannis last night. Luka, 83, fantastic. Gave you the 7X you're looking for. 45, 51, 58, though, at 12-8 isn't going to do it for you on this slate. So pay up if you want. Again, you mentioned a slow slate here. We don't even know what the Clippers are going to be looking like on a back-to-back either. We've seen them sit some of their guys. I know John Wall didn't play last night. We'll see if he's in the lineup here tonight. But we've seen guys on this team get sat on back-to-back. So he's 12-8. You mentioned Ja Morant with no Desmond Bane, to your point. So this should be a really interesting spot for him. We talk about the Pelicans. They had been a pretty good defensive team. But we're looking at a high total. And we saw it was the Pacers and the Pelicans a couple nights ago through it was 260 points, I think, up on the board or something like that. So definitely a matchup that's going to be in play. Same with Lillard. De'Aaron Fox as well. Those top 4 guys up over 8K, all in really, really great spots.
Yeah, you can go Luka as a contrarian play, but I don't know if we need to because Ja's 10-1. He's $2,700 cheaper with no Desmond Bane on the floor this year, John.
Yeah.
Ja Morant.
45%.
167-minute sample, 40% usage, 1.6 fantasy points per minute. All you need to know, like, it's as good as it's going to get. And I understand Jaren Jackson Jr. is back, but we're already predicting foul trouble. We're already predicting some type of limitation. I mean, he's been...
The limitation for sure. I can't imagine him running out there playing 35 right away.
Right, so Ja 10-1 in this spot with no Desmond Bane. Probably the last time we're going to see Ja around this price tag. I think we're going to start seeing him upwards of 11K without Desmond Bane. So I'm definitely going there. I'm definitely interested in Lillard. I know he's expensive, but he's been good, man. Yeah. And I think the addition of Anthony Simons full time and the addition of Jeremy Grant offensively really helps Lillard, and it's going to help the peripheral numbers more because he finally doesn't have to be the only scorer. Right, like he has 2 guys alongside of him that can average 20 points per game, and Nurkic is fine himself. So I think Lillard is a double candidate nightly and is good in the rebounding category. I'd go there. And De'Aaron Fox,
he gave you 63 2 nights ago.
Yeah, I think he's fine. Like I think that there's a pretty safe floor. And if you can't get to Durant or can't get to Doncic or Morant or Lillard, I think Fox is a fine option as well. But I will say Brooklyn's defense has been better lately. They were on a pretty big winning streak. So if you don't, they're 13th in defensive rating after that like putrid start. Maybe if Ben Simmons doesn't play, that helps Fox's case here.
Sure. Guys below them, obviously you have McCollum and Simons. They're both in fine spots. But I like this New York Utah spot matchup. You have Brunson on one side at 68. You have Jordan Clarkson on the other side at 63. We've been attacking guards against the Knicks all season long. Clarkson had a really strong stretch there. Last 2 games a little bit tougher for him. 25 and 27 minutes in those games. They're kind of ish blowout-y type performances there, but just tougher matchups for him. But I do think this is a good opportunity to bounce back against the Knicks. And then Brunson on the flip side, again, outside of that game against Brooklyn, where to your point, some tougher defense being played there. They got blown out 112-85, comes back with 46 against Detroit, 34 against OKC in just 24 minutes in that game there. So I do like some Jalen Brunson here tonight.
Yeah, I don't really understand the minutes in that Oklahoma City game because it wasn't a blowout, so I'm not entirely sure why.
I'm curious. Was it a blowout at some point, and maybe OKC just made a late run? Because they or vice versa, the Knicks make a late run.
Yeah,
I mean that's 280 points scored in that game.
Right, and it's confusing as to why. Let's check the. We can confirm this. Yeah. Knicks lost by 10. They won the final quarter by 6, so they were heading into the fourth down 16. So maybe to your point.
Quickly probably got some good run there, eh?
Quickly, 23 minutes.
41 fantasy points for Quickly. Just free Quickly, please. Like, just let them.
Yeah, free Quickly for sure. I'm just confused. Like, Randall and Cam Reddish both played 33 minutes. RJ Barrett played 19 minutes. So, like, maybe Thibodeau just benched him. Like,
I was gonna say they gave him 145 points. I'm sure Thibodeau was like, "What's happening here?" Right?
Right.
It was the Hornets. The Magic last night. Right. Starters came on the floor, immediately gave up like 4 points. He's like, "Nope, get off the floor. We're on bench." So NBA coaches, Carlisle loves doing that. Right.
Yeah. Like, he's the worst.
Come out of a half, you immediately turn the ball over, a whole 5 off the floor. Like your guys weren't ready to go.
I think all those guys are good. I will circle back to McCollum just a little bit because if Zion sits, he's currently listed questionable. I mean, that frees up McCollum and Ingram for much heavier role.
Yeah. He's shooting a lot. He's just not hitting shots.
Yeah,
right?
He's just not hitting shots, but like we talk about all the time. Like it takes one game for the shots to start falling, and if they start falling, we get the 48 fantasy point game that he got in Atlanta. And this is the first time since the 3rd slate of the year that he's been under 8K. So Biggest usage bump on the team, 4.9% usage bump without Zion, up to 29.9%. Just noteworthy. I really like that matchup for McCollum if Zion's out. I guess you can probably get there if Zion does play, but obviously prefer if Zion.
Yeah, just, again, three of the last 4 games, he shot less than 30% from the floor. So just big time struggle city, but also to that point, 27, 24, 38, and 31 fantasy points while shooting that poorly. So it could be a pop spot for him for sure. I don't mind Conley. I don't really play a lot of Mike Conley, but again, good spot for him against the Knicks at 56. Don't really want the Clippers guards. I'm not sure how you feel about them there.
No, but Trey Jones, if he plays, he's questionable.
Yep, Trey Jones for sure. Who gets the Bane bump here? Obviously Brooks.
Yeah,
but does Roddy play?
They've
Tyus got 36 minutes.
Yeah,
he played for Ja in that game. He played Ja for that game.
Yeah, Ja sat. Yeah. Tyus was. If you look at earlier in the year, Tyus was playing alongside guys. Like they were playing Tyus Jones when Brooks was out. So like low 20s minutes wouldn't surprise me. Mid 20s minutes wouldn't surprise me for Tyus. So I think he's in play. I would say Concher probably gets the first crack at like big minutes. He played 36 minutes in Bane's absence last game. I would assume that's the case. Maybe they go big lineup and they just plug Jaren Jackson in and they play Aldama as well. But that remains to be seen.
Very big lineup.
That was it. Yeah. So like probably unlikely, but yeah, we could see Roddy. We could see Concher. Roddy played a good amount of minutes last game too. Granted, there was a lot of guys out from Memphis, but remains to be seen. We'll see what happens in Memphis. But I do think Tyus, since we're at point guard, it is a guy we're going to see mid-20s minutes or so, and he has upside at that price.
Sure. I mentioned quickly, again, sort of a super GBP play. There are games where he plays 20 minutes and gives you 40. Other games he plays 10 minutes and doesn't do anything. Malik Monk will probably be popular on this 5-game slate. Starting to come down a little bit back to earth after that 4-game stretch, but still we know it's in his bag in here against Brooklyn. And then Colin Sexton, I guess, would be the other one I would throw out there as well. Another guy where got hot for a bit, cooled off. Now he's starting to come back a little bit again, so don't mind him either.
Yeah, and you always say, if Colin Sexton's scoring the basketball, he can be productive. But if he's not, as you saw in the Atlanta game, and he only played 13 minutes, granted, but 4 fantasy points.
What do you think about Edmund Sumner?
Yeah, and I think Edmund Sumner is incredibly interesting if Brooklyn's guys sit. Like Kyrie's out, Seth Curry's questionable, Yuta Watanabe is questionable, and so is Ben Simmons. And Nick Claxton. They have a lot of question marks today, and Sumner continues to play, continues to float around the starting lineup as well. So
Cam Thomas playing mid-20s minutes as well. So just some more dart throw potential guys here on the smaller slate. Shooting guard, Paul George is your top guy at 84, but you've already mentioned it. If Zion sits, we like Ingram. We might like Ingram anyways at 8,500 on this slate. So probably just a guy that fills up the stat sheet. He dropped 20 points against Houston the other day, so very capable of going for 40 plus. Price is obviously up there a little bit more. We liked him more when he was in that 8K 75 range. But on a smaller slate, you're talking about floors and ceilings here. Few guys probably have that type of upside that he possesses. Vassell, Dinwiddie, 2 guys that we've been playing a lot of. I think we can run back to there, but Dylan Brooks will be maybe your highest rostered player on the slate, I would imagine.
Yeah, probably one of them, just given the usage rate and the absence of Bane. I agree.
Dinwiddie is just on another level right now.
He's been good. Just again, and he's doing it in weird spots too, like Orlando, slow paced game, no points scored in that game, 49 fantasy points. The Washington revenge, he even talked about it after the game. We talked about it on the pod.
Yeah.
And then
I thought maybe Christian Wood coming back was going to slow him down. It didn't. He scored more. So
yeah, he scored more.
So those guys are all definitely in play in this mid tier. Like I said, I don't know if you have to spend up today because there's a lot of good mid range guys here. Kevin Huerter's been playing really well. I like Royce O'Neal. You mentioned John Concher already. That whole 5K tier of guys at shooting guard are going to be certainly optionable.
Yeah, I feel like the Hoarder Malik Monk thing is so funny because like one's doing well and one's not. You
Yeah.
just gotta figure out which is gonna play well. Right now it's Hoarder. Royce O'Neal, it's been good.
Yep.
And he's been good. I don't know what else to say. And if they're missing a bunch of guys, like you can go back there. It's a good matchup. I think Contra of the three is going to be the most popular.
Yeah, Seth is probable for today, so I would play
Okay.
Seth Curry for sure at 4,200. 23
coming
and
up,
then 28 minutes, and he's scoring a bunch of buckets right now. So
that
that's
probably hurts Sumner, right? Wouldn't that hurt Sumner? You think if?
I don't know because he played those minutes with Curry.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So I think that's just their rotation. Those guys are all just playing mid-20s. But
Yeah, while there's no Kyrie, it's like they're gonna all play.
But we know Seth is a bucket, so I'm a big fan of that at 42. Small forward. We have a questionable tag on Kawhi. He's already been ruled out for Monday. Unlikely to play Tuesday. Okay, we're nearing back a Kawhi Leonard return. We'll see what happens. Keldon is at 76. Laurie at 70. I mean, how do you not play Laurie Marketing right now, right? Just the upside that he brings to the table in these spots. It just
not the best 2-game stretch.
Yeah, double 2 nights ago.
Yeah, 20 fantasy points though.
Well, I mean, still like it.
I know. I'm not. I'm definitely interested. I'm just saying,
Okay.
First like blip in the radar of the last.
Sure.
Keldon, no.
Okay.
I'm not. This feels like this is like a Scotty Barnes to me. It's like, what is the upside for Keldon Johnson at near 8K? We're getting to that. We're getting to that point. I think, in my opinion.
All right. RJ Barrett coming off of that benching basically there. He's 2 of 10 shooting and had 4 fouls. So yeah, I'm sure he got pulled off the floor.
Yeah.
Good bounce back spot for him. He's giving you 40 twice in the last 4 games. We like Josh Hart, just a GDP guy. 0 for 9 shooting the other night. Still gave you almost 20 fantasy points. So just kind of show you what his potential can be when he scores. Keegan Murray had a big day the other day. 21 actual against Golden State. Very inconsistent, but just had a good night shooting there.
Yeah, I mean, I like the price, 48. I think the price stands out quite a bit. So,
no Zion, you go back to Herb Jones at 45.
Yeah, my boy Herb.
They just won't play Trey Murphy enough.
They just don't play Trey Murphy. Well, it's because Herb is their clear-cut best defender. Like he's the only one on the floor that is defending anybody. So, yeah, I think Herb. I would like it better if Zion, just for the shot volume, to potentially fall his way. But maybe, John, to your point, they could start Nance in theory, but he's kind of taken over the role. He plays more than Valanciunas. Maybe we do see a small lineup with Murphy and Herb as the 3-4. Mm-hmm. So something to watch. If Zion's ruled out and Trey Murphy's starting, I would have interest in Trey Murphy.
Yep. We had another good game from Norm Powell. Only 23 minutes in that one. Still had 28 fantasy points. So something to potentially watch for as some more value because he's 46. Joe Harris is 41. He's playing 30 minutes. He's just not shooting enough.
Yep.
But again, if you're looking for some value and some offense, he can certainly get you there. Any other value small forwards?
I mean, Reddish played 33 minutes and scored 26 actual.
I feel like that's just because he played 18 minutes in 2 games prior, right? So
I know. I just don't know what he's starting. I don't know what
did he start the other day or did Grimes?
Yeah, he started. No, he started. I don't know what the It's obviously a GPP only dart.
Sure.
Because we don't know when he's going to play minutes, but if he's going to play minutes, we know he can score the basketball. We saw him score a whole bunch early on in his career.
It made no sense why he was traded and then never used. So
yeah,
we all thought he was a good player. So
yeah, so I think it's strictly tournaments only. But I do think that there is some merit to play.
Sure. Power forward, KD, power forward only at 11-2 against Sacramento. Again, he's gave you 56. He gave you 72 a couple nights ago. So definitely in his bag to come through here against Sacramento. I mean, who's defending him? Harrison Barnes, Keegan Murray. Sabonis maybe goes out there on him, but I mean this is a KD KD spot. I loved when Westbrook tried to take him on the dribble. Did you see that highlight? Westbrook tried to ISO him and drive.
No.
Westbrook tried to ISO him and drive into the lane, and KD like swatted him twice. Like it was not even close to possible for Westbrook to get that rim. So love Durant at 11-2. I've been playing just a billion Julius Randle every slate. Been calling it now for a while. They're just creeping his price tag up too. We haven't gotten this like monster bump where he's unplayable. So at $8,100 against Utah, Kelly O and Lauri Markkanen, like I will play Julius Randle. So probably one of my top plays on this slate, and he's going to be easy. You're going to be able to get to him today because there's so much of that mid value. You're not stretching thin, I don't think, putting Randle in your lineup. So I know you like Grant as well at 74. I think he's a good play. As long as he can give you some more stats. Early in the year, he's only scoring. Now he's giving us defense. He's giving us rebounding. This is what we need out of Jeremy Grant here. Probably coincides with Nurkic not being in the lineup, I would imagine. So,
yeah, I think that was going to be my point about Randall too. No Mitrob. Like as long as Mitrob's out, and I know Hartenstein's a good rebounder, but like I think there's more urgency for Randall to rebound without Mitchell Robinson because Mitchell Robinson's so athletic and like steals rebounds away from people. So yeah, I like Randall and I like Grant. I would like Grant more if Nurkic remains out. That was 100% correct. I think if Nurkic returns, I think there's Grant a little less
in the corner, basically.
Yeah, there's a little less opportunity for him to accrue the other stats, and we need them because he's not free anymore. He's $7,400.
Yep. We'll see if Morris plays on the back-to-back, but he came through again. 6,100's fine. Again, I know we don't love the matchup here for the Clippers-Dallas game, but he's been pretty consistent. I don't want to play Jackson unless we get like a minutes cap for him. Like they come out and say he can play 25. Maybe I have interest in 25 minutes in this spot for Jaren Jackson, but if we find out it's 20, I'm probably can't go there. So we just know that he's a guy that can either get 6 fouls in 20 minutes or he can get like 4 blocks, 3 steals, and a double-double in 25 minutes. So again, one of my babies that burns me all the time. But love throwing him in those GPPs, man. He's a wild card.
Yep.
Nance again at 47. I'm fine going to Vanderbilt at 47 is fine for tournaments as well here. Anybody else for you?
I'm interested in what happens to Santi Aldama with the return of Jaren Jackson because
it feels like Jackson would come off the bench probably to start. No.
Well, if that's the case, and maybe we do run some Aldama.
Well, I don't know. I just worry his minutes probably still get cut, but I don't know if they would start Jackson right away. Maybe they would.
Yeah, I guess that would be my only question. Like, what happens?
Because we know Aldama's only playing because Jackson's been out. So
yeah, I think he's played though like well enough to where he's going to find himself on the floor. Like
but is he playing now 20 minutes instead of 30?
Right. And I guess that's the question because maybe they use him as the back. They could use him as the backup 5, and that cuts into Brandon Clark's minutes. I don't know how it's going to happen. We'll find out because Jaren Jackson also plays backup 5, right? So that could obviously help Aldama play. Agreed. I don't know. There's a lot of question marks, but probably not one we can.
Be a lot of fouls in that front court with Aldama and Jaren Jackson.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot.
So can't played the minutes last night, even in that blowout. 3,900 for him. 21
and Bates Diop.
Points, so
and Bates Diop played 30 and started. So if there's no Trey Jones and we get another Bates Diop Sohan lineup, then I would probably be interested in both. Obviously not like really exciting, but when you look at Bates Diop, like the 3 games that he has top 20 minutes, 31 fantasy points in 31 minutes, 23 fantasy points in 25 minutes, 25 fantasy points in 23 minutes. Like, guy gets minutes, he's on the floor, and he shoots all 3 of those games 12+ shots. So, just a thought. If he's in the starting lineup, we didn't mention Josh Richardson either. He took a million shots last night. I was watching that game like, what is Josh Richardson doing? 3 of 12, but he took a lot of shots, and 22 fantasy points in 25 minutes.
Somebody had to play point guard for them. So
right. So I think all of this Spurs value that was in play yesterday, as much as we don't want to admit it, and we don't want to play it, probably it's all back.
Again, I think a lot of that had to do with them losing by 40. So
I mean, dude, yes, but dude, when you look at when you like watching the game, they were using 10 guys. Keldon Johnson played 12 first half minutes. Sure. 12 first half minutes. They weren't down by 40 at half. Sure. They were down by 15. Like that's not that works for the second half, but there's no reason that Keldon Johnson.
Oh, do you think it's just the combination of the back-to-back and the blowout? Probably. Like,
I mean, maybe, but like Keldon Johnson's 23 years old.
Like, yeah, but why are we? Yeah, but that doesn't matter. I mean, they you know how the NBA works with these guys.
I know, but I mean, then that should worry us again for the second leg because
I feel if anything they generally rest these guys one of the two. So if they didn't play a lot in the first leg, I feel pretty confident on the second leg. My opinion. We'll see. Pop does what Pop wants to do. So center spot here. You've been touting Sabonis for a bit. Popped for 66 against Golden State. We've been going against centers against Golden State forever. Thoughts here on Brooklyn? Claxton's probable, so he's going to run up into Claxton. Do you pay 92 for Sabonis? Highest he's been all year.
I think you can. Brooklyn is one of the worst rebounding teams in the league, 29th in rebounding rate. Only Philly is worse. So this is a ceiling type upside for Sabonis on the glass. Like not 22, but he's had a bunch of 14 plus rebound games this year. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, we know he's going to, the offense, look at these assists, dude, like 6+ in 7 straight games. Has only not had 6 or more assists in 3 games this year. So like, there's a lot of upside for Sabonis. And when we're scoring and staying out of foul trouble, like he does have 60 in his bag. So yeah, I'm okay going there. 92 is obviously getting up there, but, if he's going to continue, if he stays out of foul trouble, which he could here, then yeah, I mean, he has 60 point ceiling.
Sure. Pirtle's fine. Again, I know you're worried about San Antonio, but if there's no Nurkic, I like Pirtle here against. He still almost had a double-double in the 20 minutes last night. So he's at 7K. And then what's your next center in the mid-tier? What's the guy you're going to? Is it Adams or is it Claxton?
I don't know. Christian Wood in tournaments.
Ben Simmons with center eligibility now?
Yeah, he's just not playing. I don't know, like the back is like hindering him and they're like babying him back, but he's not playing minutes. I think Christian Wood for tournaments is meh. Claxton probably 59 is a good price. He left that Lakers game with the injury.
Yeah. Olynyk's been decent.
Olynyk's definitely a tournament play though, just given like the minutes volatility. Mm-hmm. I would say like 2 games it's 21, 23. The next 2 games it's 29, 28. Yeah. 5K is fine. Like it's not a best price tag. It's not the worst. I agree with your Adams call, and I think Hartenstein is like kind of the same boat as Olynyk. Like he had been starting. He started the last couple of games again, and another guy who just ran into like weird benching, I guess, for the Knicks and played 33 minutes and 23 against OKC. So I would go back to Hartenstein. He's a volume guy on the glass. For sure.
Let the people know your thoughts on Charles Bassey here.
I mean,
you pointed him out last night to me, and then he goes out here and he 6 and 7. Look, the blocks have been great. The rebounding's been aggressive, and he's 24 minutes in that game. So
yeah, and Popovich came out last week, I believe. He came out like the 9th or the 10th or whatever it was and said like, yeah, we're going to give this guy more minutes. Like he was cut from Philly. They signed him and he's just like so active. He had like 5 offensive rebounds of those 7 last night with a couple putbacks. So yeah, I think there is some merit to playing him. Like, is he a core play? No. Is he like someone that like, is he the first one in our lineups? No, but like, he's very active, and if there's no Nurkic, like he's dealing with like Drew Eubanks and Trendon Watford.
Eubanks is the next. So. Eubanks is the other one. He's $3,900, 27 and 33 minutes the last 2 games. I know the shot volume is horrible. 8 rebounds though in 3 straight games for him. If he can just give you anything offensively, you're getting 20, 25 fantasy points there. Just love the fact that he actually played 33 and 27 minutes. So, could be a spot at 3,900 if Nurkic is out and he starts again. You need some value somewhere. Like, I think Eubanks is in play for sure. Would you play Jericho Sims if he starts again? I know they started.
Yeah.
I know they start Hartenstein in that game. Sims still played 25 minutes. You just thoughts if he ends up starting over Hartenstein.
Yeah, if he starts, I think there's some viability. He hasn't been very high upside. He's very efficient from the floor. He has not missed a shot this year, by the way.
Is he only dunking, I guess is my
He is 11 for 11 from the field this year. Good rebounder, block shots, obviously. So, I mean, look, if that's what they want, if they don't want to give up 145 points again and they turn to Sims, then I'm with you. I think there's some viability to Jericho Sims at 37, but he'd have to start. I think it's pretty risky going to him in a reserve role.
Sure. If for whatever reason Klassen gets out, Markieff Morris played 20 minutes the other day as a center after he left the game. So
shout out Markieff.
Yeah, there you go. Actually had a good game. So that's it. Let's build our lineup here. Where are we? Who's our core? What's our number one? Is it Ja?
I would say Ja Durant. I think we were probably most convicted on both those two guys. But if Ja is,
let's
no
go with
Bane.
The cheaper, I guess.
Yeah,
if we can get up to,
Agreed.
We'll go there. We're also going to put Brooks into the lineup, I imagine.
Probably, yeah. Big usage rate, a lot of volume.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people might be scared off by Brooks because that's just like typically what happens. Like recency bias strikes, and like he was chalk 7 for 22, 27 fantasy points. Like got there, but like people are probably disappointed he didn't go for 40. Recency bias will keep people off of him, and that's good for us sometimes.
Sure. Small forward position here. Do you maybe think of an RJ Barrett bounce back? Do you like Hart or the mid tier guys? Like where is your small forward play? Them taking KD away from us at small forward is kind of annoying here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like Laurie is probably safe.
Do you want to move? Is Brooks small forward eligible? Because we can probably solve that by using, and then we can play Seth, and we can play Seth Curry at shooting guard.
Okay, love it. Seth Curry at shooting guard.
Right, because I mean, small forward stinks, and Brooks is the clear the clear play there. I think.
If we go KD and Durant, it's and Ja Morant, it's 4,600 a player. I want to go Randall though at power forward.
Yeah, I figured we were going Randall. I had him plugged in.
Okay.
I had him plugged in 5,400. It's a good salary to have remaining.
Dude, Sabonis is 4K a play. I don't think we had a 3K guy we wanted though.
I don't think so. Like the Memphis guys are like an option, and there's like cheap.
What was Concha's price? 49. They didn't really.
Yeah, he's not
there.
Yeah, I think Randall's fine. I think that was a good play.
Not a power forward center eligible player, unfortunately.
Dude, I kind of like Larry Nance, but I mean, I what's your take on like? I guess Nance
is boomer bust, right?
It's just such boomer bust.
He's gotta hit his shots. Let's see. Socan was 39. If we're just looking at some value guys here.
Yeah, I mean he's gonna start regardless.
Malik Monk at 46.
Another boomer bust. Put that in the Larry Nance category.
Sure, he's been more consistent at least.
That's true.
He's a little bit $100 cheaper. Trying to figure out a way to get us some more cash. I guess
I am too. I'm in the guard spot right now, like looking at the 4K guys. I'm now at the small.
Sexton's at 44. We like
that game is
Clarkson,
interesting,
though, right? Like.
That game is interesting.
If we ran Clarkson at the guard, it's 5,100 a player.
Dude, Clarkson is really good.
Yeah.
So like, I have no problem going to Clarkson.
Socan at the forward at 39.
Yeah, Sohan's gonna start. Yeah, he's gonna start. I mean, regardless of, he was in a little foul trouble early last night too. He had 2 quick ones. And they put Richardson on the floor immediately. And then again, we talked about the Spurs being limited. So like that 25 minutes probably turns into 30.
Sure.
We have 5,700 for a center and a util. Is that what it is?
That's where we're at. We could go Claxton, Adams, Olynyk for center plays.
Yeah, I kind of like the Claxton. I know. I just mentioned that they're a bad rebounding team. But
He
Sacramento,
is the rebounder, so.
he is the rebounder, and Sacramento 23rd in rebounding. So like something's got to give, right? Like
Sure.
one of these teams are one of their centers are gonna have big rebounding games. So Zeus, what do you think? What do you think? Zeus said Nick Claxton 5,900.
Okay.
He likes. I don't know if you want to ask Emma. I don't know if Emma's around.
She's sleeping.
She's sleeping.
She's sleeping.
Yeah. So is Zeus. Zeus didn't actually.
He didn't actually answer you there.
Unresponsive. Yeah. I mean, do you like Claxton 59?
Yeah,
like,
I don't mind him. Yeah, I don't mind the play. Yeah, obviously, again, a little bit more of a lower floor than say an Adams probably.
All right, let's play Adams. No. You know what? The only thing
I just don't know what Jackson's impact is, right? That's my thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say the impact is the question mark. We don't know because we've seen Adams like limited during regular season play last year.
Yeah,
like a lot with Jaren Jackson around. Yep. So
let's see here.
55.
Yeah, so I threw Monk in, but we have more this is like one of those awkward price spots.
Steven Adams?
Right. Like it's Adams. Like, I mean, it's probably Kevin Huerter, right? Just 5,400. He's been pretty reliable.
Yeah, he's been good. And we know he can shoot. This is a good total. Brooklyn, yes, has been better defensively, but what is the game environment? I mean, 1.5 point spread in a 227 over-under.
Well, we have 2 Memphis guys.
You're thinking we should have more?
No, I'm thinking like, how do we get? We have a hard time getting to like a McCollum.
Yeah, the Pelicans. Yeah, the Pelicans are tough. I mean, the only way we get to one of those guys is if we come off Randall.
Yeah.
And that would be the pivot probably, or we come off Clarkson, which I think we could realistically do.
I went off Clarkson and Huerter and went McCollum at the guard spot. It gave us 3,900, which would be Eubanks on the dot if they ended up ruling out.
Yep, Eubanks on the dot. There. Yep, it would be Eubanks on the dot. It would be Bates Diop if no Trey Jones. Could be Edmund Sumner.
Yeah, all right. Kennard's been playing 25 minutes. I mean, if somebody
started last night.
Yeah, if someone gets ruled out there, could be a play.
Maybe we come down off of. Maybe we go to your Olynyk. Your Olynyk call at 5K. That gives us 4,800.
Okay, I can get to play Monk.
That gets to Malik Monk. That gets to Keegan Murray. That gets to whoever we want at util. Whatever you feel good about.
I wish we could just rely on Nance's playing time.
I know. I mean, I think the playing time, he got hurt. I think he got hurt in the Indiana game. And then 23 minutes against Portland stunk, but so good against Houston.
I'm going to play Monk.
Okay.
That's what we're going to do. GPP lineup, make League Monk. Maybe he'll hit some more shots here against Brooklyn. So Ja Morant, Seth Curry, Dylan Brooks, Julius Randle, Kelly Olynyk, CJ McCollum. What's Sohan's first name? I don't even know. Jeremy Sohan at forward and Malik Monk at util. $200 left over. And that is our example lineup. Ray Coons on the playbook for today. James and I will be in the Discord. If you have any questions, give us a follow, and we will catch you guys later.